Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Gamecast, episode 433. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gast, joined by Mike Sneedy.
What's up?
Corey Feinsod.
Pew pew.
And Tony Kokonakis.
Paching. Hello.
That works. So
I think I like the deflection noise.
Yeah.
I've been playing too much Smash Brothers, and it's like that's the, deflection.
That works.
Yeah.
Welcome, listeners. Welcome, viewers, to 433 of the Gamecast. We have a great topic tonight about the future. Like the future of games, is free to play a good thing for the industry, or is it not? We're going to go over that. A couple of opinions, I'm sure, about that. We'll get. So, and that basically is because of the big news this week. Which we can get into after what we've been up to.
Okay.
What we've been up to, I'd like to hear about Apex, guys. I haven't played it yet, so all three of you have played this, but me.
Yeah.
So, Mike, you got your first win tonight.
Yeah, I've played it more than I've wanted to because.
What, you wanted to?
I like how you're always forced by this other friend group of yours. Like, oh, they make me play Sea of Thieves. They make me play this. They make me play that. It's
because
like strong arming you. Like
they are because one of them moved to Nevada. so
how did somebody in Nevada strong arm you to doing something you don't want?
Because I'm never going to talk to him again otherwise. But no.
Go on.
But he's not even the one who likes this game. It's my more local friend, but he's super into it, and so I want to hang out online with him. We'll do that. So, I mean, I'm like, all right. I hated it at first because I don't really like a lot of the concepts in Battle Royale. But, as you get better, it becomes more rewarding sometimes. But yeah, I have a first win finally. We've played a bit. I'm like level, I don't know, like 16, 17. So
Jeez.
Normally I am the healer girl. I forgot her name. Lifeline. There we go. Because I feel like if there's one character that's essential, she is, and no one else always doesn't. Nobody don't always do her.
Nobody ever wants to play the healer.
Yeah, but everyone has similar offensive powers in this game, so it shouldn't be as much of an issue as it is. But whatever. So yeah, I've dove in, and it's definitely, in my opinion. Of course, I played very little of the other two. It's the best battle royale game. That's a big thing.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to hear from like Tony. You played a lot of PUBG. Corey, did you play a lot of Fortnite? I can't remember. I think you did.
Played a good amount of Fortnite.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to hear the comparisons. I don't know, Tony, did you play a lot of Fortnite or no? I don't think you did.
No, I played like a couple rounds.
Yeah, so we have the PUBG guy, we got the Fortnite guy, and then Mike didn't really play either of them. So
I mean, I've touched Fortnite. I've watched PUBG.
Yeah. So I mean, let's go PUBG first. Let's go Tony's impressions here.
Like to me, PUBG is really good if you want that uber realistic military tactical shooter where it's like you can be having a great game, like you have an awesome loadout, and you make one mistake, or you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and you're just dead because a headshot will most likely kill you from a high-powered sniper rifle or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's great if that's the experience you're looking for. But again, 1 versus 99. I mean, not good odds. So I mean, you have to go in knowing that you're not going to win. And the reward, it just like if you get like the crates and shit, which is just cosmetic crap. So just like very low payout in terms of like risk versus reward and what you're getting out of it. That said, I mean, the game does play amazing. Performance issues aside, I still love it. And actually, playing Apex, as much as I do love Apex, like part of me is still like, man, I wish PUBG was like getting support it needed and deserved to like maintain its high relevance. But with that said, Apex to me is a lot better in terms of like getting a couple people together and just kind of like shooting the shit. It's like literally shooting the shit where it's just like, you're like, all right, you're going to play something that's close to like Overwatch in terms of like the character classes and the, cartoony nature of it. And it's arcadey gameplay. It's not like the, one headshot and you're dead kind of, at least I've not experienced that. With class abilities and whatnot. And you have like the sci-fi where it's like shields and, bubble, like the Halo shield bubble and all that stuff. So it's cool. It's just a different flavor, but Apex, I think it suits itself better to the group nature. Team-based nature.
Better shooter, which one?
Still early for me to say that, but just because I'm so used to PUBG. I'll just go with that for now. I'm still learning the nuances and everything of Apex, but
I think the different character like the different character classes in this make it much more of an intricate like strategy. So like I mean the thing is, like you said, PUBG is more of a solo act, where this is a squad based game, so it makes it different. But having the squad like Overwatch and the class roles of characters, and this is coming from somebody who hasn't played Apex yet, but it impresses on me that it sounds more like it would be more strategy involved for like just playing your character the way they should be playing rather than just playing the game.
Right, and that's goes into what I think helped make Overwatch a success, is because you have these characters that people will appreciate, and that's the thing is like kind of like with that or like Pokemon, it's like no matter what character you're talking about, like that is somebody's favorite character. Yeah. Like to me, like let's say I hate like Roadhog. Fucking hate Roadhog. I was gonna say Roadhog actually. So but like I know so many people that love Roadhog. It's just like but that's cool because everybody has their own different preferences and flavors, and that's awesome. So for me, like that personalization, that attachment is there with Apex, whereas it's PUBG. It's like you're a dude or you're a girl, and you wear cosmetics.
Yeah.
And it's the same kind of thing with Fortnite. Is like you have your skins, but it's everyone's on the same level. There's no powers and there's no special abilities, and there's really they're trying to make these skins personalities, and like they're making action figures and things like that. And I think Fortnite plays real well to that younger crowd because of the cartoony nature of it, and the fact that they are, they have some crazy in-game like skins with the weapons and even like the pickaxe thing, whatever. That can be totally different. So I do appreciate
their plagiarized dances.
Yeah, exactly. And I do appreciate all of the updates that Fortnite has been getting consistently. Makes it interesting and always worth going back into.
Do you think Epic's cash cow is in jeopardy? Obviously, there's numbers that are supporting it, but it's just a hype. Is it just a hype, or is it in jeopardy?
I think that this genre in general is, kind of peaked, and that's going to start leveling out.
This thing has, 25 million now. It's up to
that was the big news of the week. 25 million users.
So that's why it's like I don't mind leading with this. So it's like, combat-wise, does it play like Titanfall? Like, how does it play?
Well, I think
similarly,
Respawn knows how to make shooting games. So
they're I would say they're right next to Bungie in terms of like when you play a shooter, like it feels good. It just feels natural and like you're like smooth and just like this is like butter. It's just like I said, smooth.
I do appreciate this game came out and it was a complete product. Like it's not in its alpha beta form.
Not early access.
Everything feels finished, and the weapons are great. I do like in this system, every gun is the same. Like you're not getting a legendary version of a gun necessarily, but they are legendary versions which come out fully spec'd. But you're picking up different levels of attachments to augment the gun. So like the gun's not going to be a legendary gun, but the attachments are going to be either legendary or epic or common or rare.
It does get a little confusing. And then there's always the point in the match where you need to decide, all right, what two guns do I really want? And that's the ammo I'm going to pick up because I can't carry every type of ammo unless I'm going to use it. So it's an interesting wrinkle to it. It's also a little frustrating to someone who is used to playing games where you just have a loadout and you do it.
Yeah, that's the nature of the battle royale style games. Well.
Yeah, but the big thing I think it adds that makes it, aside from the uneven sort of character gameplay, which I always prefer, that's really the reason why like I did eventually get into Overwatch, is just how different all the characters like acted. But this, they're not that different in this game. In that way, everyone's you're with good aim.
Yeah, nobody's like wall jumping like Genji.
Yeah. But that's a good thing. That makes it different. But the other thing is this ping system is really more helpful than I imagined it would be.
And I think is probably like one of the most innovative things I've seen in a shooter.
This is like the context sensitive where you're going kind of thing, like how you communicate.
The thing is, it's not new, but it's done like they basically Disneyfied it. Like they took something already existing and made it like the perfect implementation of it. Like
So that's his hook.
No,
I mean, I would say it's the hook. I'm just saying, like, I think it's a great quality.
It's a game changer for a game in this style because it is squad based. You're going in with 3 people, so you're gonna have 2 teammates, regardless if you're playing solo or if you're playing with friends. You're always gonna have 3 people. So if you're not on mics and you can't communicate, this is a way to communicate.
But even then, it's like instead of being like, oh, where are you? And it's like you can just ping the exact location. Like, let's meet up here. You don't have to be like
the fact that you can ping items in the game and the game will say, oh, there's a shield here at level 2. Like it'll tell you, and it'll be on the map for the players in your squad.
The only issue is when you make a mistake and you say something that you didn't mean to. It's like, oh wait, no, there's definitely not an enemy there. I was just, I'm just kidding.
But it's great because like a lot of times, like people like, where are you? Like I'm here. Like what? That means nothing. It's like
no, it's true because like I'm on the mic with my friend the whole time, but it's still better to ping if we're gonna like say this is where you need to get. Okay, because it'll show you on the map. So it's definitely good. There's also a funny little text-to-talk feature too that I ran across, which is hilarious because people just normally do it when they get killed and you have to revive them, and they're just swearing at you in text-to-talk with the robot voice, which was honestly my favorite match so far. It was funny. Yeah. The revive system is also something that makes it different than the others.
Sure, there's you get downed and they can still res you, but then there's also the after death thing. Like you can still
so when you get downed, you're bleeding out slowly, and then a teammate needs to come and revive you, and that's like you hold down the button. You're a little vulnerable unless you're the meta character, then you're less vulnerable, and for a little bit, and then you're back. Or if you die after that completely, you need to go to a specific station with a banner that lays where you were killed. And the teammate needs to pick that up, go to a station, and then you'll start over again. Pretty much, the people who were killed start over again with nothing, which is a problem sometimes. But yeah, it's good so you're not completely out of it when you get killed all the time.
Okay, all right, cool. All right,
the game was designed squad based, so this is not you're not going solo. Like everything about this game was designed to be in a squad, which from the get-go is a great idea.
They also have reports now are duo and single mode coming soon for this.
Single mode, I still don't see what the point of single mode is in this game.
It's just another battle.
I think it's just an extra. I mean, like it can't be that hard to code that. I mean,
no, I'm not saying it's hard. I just think that
I don't think it's going to be the
designed to not be a solo thing. So it's like,
I don't think
I'd rather see them put their effort in like let's do a ranked system, a tier system, or like let's get teams and have like a league system.
I would be more interested in even like bigger teams.
No, I agree. I think that'd be interesting to have a 6-player team, something like that. So because of the revive system and because of the fact that this was so many of the things that they have in this game are geared towards being in the team, it just makes more sense. That's all. I don't think they need to use resources to make a single player version.
They won't have to do too much though. Again,
sure.
Yeah,
there's also 60 players on the map, not 100.
No, that's okay. That's a lot still. That's not like it's 12. You know what I mean?
20 teams.
Yeah. So that is the thing. Winning is a little more possible. It seems like with the 20 teams.
I think I've got 2 wins under my belt so far.
Cool. Yeah, I think they got something interesting on their hands. It's like I said, 25 million players right now across their platforms, and it's single-handedly brought EA back.
Back from the brink,
which we will get into as our topic tonight. But let's move on to more of what we've been up to. Is there any more on Apex news? I don't think so. But more of what we've been up to. For me, I've just been more Kingdom Hearts 3. And do you know I went 25 minutes watching the game. Yeah. 20.
Yeah, it's like Metal Gear Solid.
Minutes. And then I went an hour because it doesn't just autosave. I went an hour between save points.
Wow.
I was like, are you kidding me? Where is this? I was playing. I'm like, I'm just playing a little bit ago. I'm like, I'll just save this and then we'll go grab some dinner. And I'm like, 35 minutes later, I'm like, there's no save point. Then I go and save it. I'm like, wait, the last save point was an hour and 26 minutes, or it was an hour and 10 minutes ago. It was an hour and 10 minutes ago.
That's some old school shit right there.
Yeah, I really dislike that part of the game. And I don't have any idea what's going on with the story at all. Like, No idea. But I'm enjoying it. So, and there's just really flashy finishers and summons in this game that I'm just like, it's fun. So, I'm enjoying that. I play a lot more Wargroove too. I really like that game a lot. It's great. It's perfect for the Switch. It has little small battle kind of things. You can get kind of big on the battle scenes sometimes, but overall, I can sit down and kind of play it, pause it, go back to it. It's a good setup for that. So I'm enjoying that quite a bit. Mike, anything else?
Nothing new. No.
Corey?
Play a little more Wargroove as well.
Yeah.
It's good. Good game.
It's good. Yeah, it's fun. Tony?
Nothing.
Smash?
Yeah,
Smash?
just more Smash and League.
Yeah.
New season of League started and
yes, yeah.
Crazy.
All right. Let's get into the news then. Hang on. Let me get the news open. We talked about the Apex news already. We're going to kick it off like this news section with terrible news about Blizzard.
Yeah.
So this came out earlier from Jason Schreier that employees were leaving, like hugging, and because they just knew it was happening and they didn't know who was getting fired yet. Is that true?
Yeah. Because unfortunately, it sucks when like you're part of a large corporation like this, like my work, for example. Like there will be times where like you won't you could come to work and your badge will be deactivated, and it's like, what the fuck does that mean? Stuff like that, and it's like. When you go to the office to it's just
try not to laugh at your these people as like misfortune or anything, but it's funny. It's like Blake Bortles is a terrible quarterback, and he had a quote on Twitter. He's saying like, every time I show up to the facility, I expect my badge to be disabled, but it still works, so I'm still playing.
Yeah, exactly. So for this, the thing is too is if you remember from Jason Schreier's book when they were talking about I think Lucas Arts shutting down. Yeah. I mean, those employees just went rampant. They're like, all right, fine, fuck it. Like, we're just going to take whatever we can because this is our work, this is our art, stuff like that. Whereas, a company like Blizzard, where they care about that kind of stuff, and a lot of that's probably proprietary or, now owned because, technically it's still the property of Activision-Blizzard. They don't want people doing that kind of stuff or, dragging down morale for the people that, aren't getting fired and stuff like that. So it's just like, it's probably like, hey, you know what? Everybody just meet in the auditorium today or something like that. It's just or parking lot, for example. But it's unfortunate. But it seems that they laid off 8% or something, which is amounts to 800 people.
Yeah, 800 people. Some of them have been there for like 15 years.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to lose your job. I mean, they're just how big that company has been. To what it is now doing, like consolidating and cutting back because they went too big.
Like, Activision always had these big franchises, but what do they have now?
Yeah, and Call of Duty.
And that's exactly what they were talking about in the financial investor call today. So just to put this in reference, they announced that this was the best quarter ever, record breaking.
Really,
same day that they said they're laying off 8% of staff, which is just ridiculous to me because it's like And I don't want to get too much into it because that could be a whole topic on capitalism and these big companies and stuff like that. But it's just like it just shows what kind of scummery you have in terms of leadership. I'd like to point back to 2013 when the Wii U failed right out the gate and Nintendo lost money for the first time in years. Iwata and the rest of the executives, they took a giant pay cut so they didn't have to lay off employees. So that's like an example of like Japanese culture, whereas like Western culture is like, yeah, we made record breaking profits. Still wasn't enough for
bonuses for the top tier people.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
and all these people.
That shows to me. That's ridiculous.
And it's just like that's fucking disgusting in a way. And it's just like the thing is, they said that the people getting laid off today were not part of the teams that were making the products that are making the money or showing fruition, anything that could be used in the near future, which is just shitty because I'm sorry, like not everything can't be on top forever, like StarCraft used to be on top and they thought StarCraft 2 and it only did okay. You look at Diablo 3, is doing okay, but like what's the monetization on Diablo 3? Like nobody cares about that at this point, loot boxes and auction house shit. Here's the Storm, unfortunately failed and Overwatch is doing great, but they had to ramp up resources because all their efforts went to supporting Overwatch League last year. And it's just like last year, in my opinion, was one of the worst years for Overwatch in terms of just like me personally, like playing the game. I had no interest in it. Watching the professionals, yeah, great. But like playing it, I'm just like, nah, like it's not fun right now. So it just, how are you going to lay off the people that are working on your projects that will be your next money maker. It just seems so short-sighted to me.
I mean, that's it. It's like, it's just like, how do you fault them for this? You've assigned them this project.
Right. It's on you.
Why are you cutting these people if you gave them this project to work on? It's not like, unless they said, yes, I want to work on this game. And Heroes of the Storm, for instance, they all came in and they said, that's the game I want to work for.
Yeah.
But the way I think it works at businesses is you hire them and you say, okay, here's what you're working on.
Yeah. Yep. You got hired for the project.
Yeah. So they were the unlucky ones, apparently.
Yep. And it's just fortunate. And I think something like Heroes of the Storm is actually a perfect example of, part of either Blizzard leadership or overall strategy, where it's like you had stuff like Dota and you had stuff like League of Legends. Nice. And I think there was a Champions game that were just like coming out hot in the MOBA scene. And Blizzard was just like so late to the party. So like, what are you guys doing? Like, you easily could have came out and just crushed these things. Like, if you had thrown your weight behind that, Blizzard would have just slapped them with their dick and been like, here's all our shit. Like, you guys can't do anything about it. And it's like, they launched like years into it. Like, what's it going to do? Nothing. And
it's like you either launch way later and like reinvent the wheel in that genre, sense, or be right there in the forefront, and they're kind of right in the middle, which and they weren't, as in like they were trying to be more of the casual, and that style of game is not really
it's not casual. No.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a bad call for that game. See, it said, wow. EA also confirmed they're going to launch a city-based franchise league for Call of Duty.
Yep, kind of like Overwatch League.
They're going to do that, really?
Yep.
They saw how successful Overwatch was. Like, why not?
I guess. I mean, that's true. It's just, I guess there's enough to support it.
Still the number one, like second top selling game of the year last year.
Sure.
Huge.
Yeah, and honestly, I think this is just. I mean, I know it sounds crazy to say this, but I've said this before, and I think they just need to launch a base Call of Duty, free to play. I know how crazy it sounds. Free to play, online multiplayer. You know, you can have it as bare bones if you want, just like straight up team deathmatch, maybe the battle royale, whatever. But like, you get that base out there, and you could sell people like the single player campaigns. Not that I think personally it would do that fantastic to warrant the return on investment there. You could sell them, the map packs or whatever you want. But like, you just get everybody playing the same Call of Duty game, so you don't have to release the new disc or the.
Well, that's the question I'm like wondering about is they have 3 studios doing their own things. Like each studio has its own Call of Duty. So like, are you still going to be supporting this Blackout map and Battle Royale as you're releasing another version of Call of Duty?
Right, exactly.
And remember, it's like, how's that work? And with Fortnite, I know Fortnite's Fortnite going forward. Like,
League of Legends, and that's why you need that, because like, can you imagine having a professional scene where it's like, hey guys, for 2019, we're going to be playing Call of Duty 4, and then as soon as the new one comes out,
been the same game.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I think they just, if they want to do the professional esports thing, they need to commit to that. I'm not saying they can't do the disc version, but like, you need to have that multiplayer version. But if you're having a multiplayer version, which people are going to want to play because that's where the money is, or that's where the competitive nature is, like, are those people going to go out and buy the $60 disc? I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't know. That gets us actually closer to our topic tonight. What we're going to talk about is free to play games. Are they good for the industry? Are they, Mike, we were having a conversation about Apex and how you think it's a negative impact for EA.
Are we getting into the topic right now?
I think so. I think we got all the rest of the news, right?
Just one more thing I didn't put on there. Nintendo Direct tomorrow. So.
Oh yeah, Nintendo. Yep.
Right. Fire Emblem.
They said Fire Emblem news. Yeah.
Yep, Fire Emblem. So hopefully that's right around the corner.
Yeah. So, anyways, Mike, you were talking about on the Discord about Apex is the reason why we brought up this topic tonight. Single-handedly brought EA back from like a down quarter, I believe. Was it fiscal year?
Stock like jumped up 5%.
Yeah. It was just quarter, right? Yeah, it was just quarter. So the game has been out for a week, 25 million players. It's doing very well for them in terms of it's free to play, but obviously people are buying things for it, cosmetics, whatever they have in the game. I'm not sure what they're buying. The season pack, the battle pack, right? Is that what they're calling it?
No, it's mostly cosmetics.
The battle season. I mean, the season doesn't start till March. Actually,
do they? Yeah, but are they selling that already? Do they have to buy the?
I think there's a founders pack you can buy.
Yeah, that's what I think. So
it's not an advertising game at all.
Oh, okay. Well, see, that's why I knew about it, because I don't play the game and I knew about this thing. But yeah, I don't know. But So the conversation is this good for the industry or is this bad?
I mean, for me, it's good for companies, but I don't think it's bad for like gamers. I don't think it's good for gamers long term because it doesn't incentivize.
You think this is going to make EA just go right back to the way they have been doing things and not change?
Well, yeah, because again, it's something where it's a low risk, high reward proposition to do a game like this where you invest a little bit and then sure it's free, but you know that people will pay for silly stuff forever for a very long time with this. And then in comparison, like why would they ever bother with like a well put together single player or even not even single player, just like a well put together like full experience when they can just do something this easily.
And that's what I don't understand, Mike, because they already did that. Like Activision-Blizzard, Call of Duty 4 didn't even have a single player campaign this year.
Keep going. I'll be right back.
Okay, and they charged $60 for it because they added a lot more to it. There's a lot more to it than
there's multiplayer stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think there's more to it than previous Call of Duty games. I think the only new addition is Battle Royale.
Yeah, Battle Royale kind of took the place of the campaign.
That's fine, but I just don't think that it's just there's no incentive to like put that much like time and effort into like a bigger game.
Well, I think
what do you define as a bigger game? I don't understand.
Low risk,
a game that's beyond one mode, maybe, or one map, one mode. I don't know. I mean, I played the game a lot, but I'm kind of tired of it right now. I know my friend isn't, so I'll keep playing it, but it's the same thing over and over again. And it works. This is the business model that works. So what incentive does a company like EA, that's bottom line first, have to like polish up a game?
I don't understand. What game are we talking about?
Any game.
No. I need you to explain your actual specific here because I'm not understanding the relation here. Because like you don't think EA is throwing more money at Respawn right now to make Apex even better game?
Yeah, but it's nothing compared to like a typical AAA game.
Because why?
Why? Because they don't need to spend that much to do anything in a game where you play as one mode like this.
I think I don't know if I agree totally with the low risk, high reward thing because game development is still expensive no matter what. And you've seen what happens when games fail, studios close. And if you put it out a game free to play, it's going to be in people's hands. I
mean, it just further
doesn't mean it's going to be a success.
But no, it is because people will always buy the stupid loot boxes, and
always what was that game we played on Loadout? We played on PS4. That cartoon.
I don't think enough people played that game.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That was a free to play game that didn't succeed, and studios closed now. Like studio doesn't exist.
They didn't lose as much money as they would have if they like made a AAA game though. It just further tilts things towards the games as a service loot box business model, as instead a full priced game where you have all your features going in, and it's like more of a confined single player type of experience, and that's just not going to be needed anymore for bigger companies because they get it so much easier this way.
I can see what you're saying with that. It's just I also see it like it also hides the loss of other games. I mean, so it's like you can take some more chances with games that you wouldn't normally take.
Those other games won't even exist now because they're going to be losses. And
do you honestly think
compared to something like this, like why would they even bother? And that's how EA thinks. We've seen it in the past. So
EA is always acting like this, Mike. So this is what I don't understand because like they're always profit first. Like I mean, we can just look like. I mean, the sports games every year it's a $60 release. You can't honestly tell me.
The point though is like because it's becoming successful model, will other people start adapting this?
I think, but I think that they're kind of. I mean, look at Microsoft already kind of doing their own subscription service because that's where they can make their steady stream of money. You want those steady streams of money, but it shouldn't discourage you from exploring actual other games. Now, EA is not the right.
right.
EA is not the right example of it. I'm talking about just free to play to begin in general. I'm not talking about just specifically EA. I don't disagree with you, Mike, about EA themselves. I think they are a terrible company. We know this. They've dropped the ball with so many franchises. They closed so many companies. This is their MO. But free to play, as what I'm seeing it as, it's a positive. It can be a positive for the industry because it can actually let people go into saying, we're not going to make this game because we're going to lose money on this, or we're not going to take the chance. But if they have this steady stream of money coming in, they could say, you know what, let's take the chance in this game, see if it is successful. If it doesn't, maybe we won't do it again, but let's try it and see what we can get. So we might get a game that's amazing.
I just don't think that's how EA or anyone in the business really operates.
I think Ubisoft is a good example of a company that does do these.
Ubisoft is the one that is probably changing the most and at the forefront of the.
That's what I
forgot to say is the cutting edge.
Division 2. I played the Division 2 beta.
Okay.
Oh, cool. But that's a good example. Yes.
But here's an example. What I'm saying is like the days of just creating a game, whatever it is, single player, multiplayer, whatever the fuck it is, story based, multiplayer, whatever. It's you're charging $60 and you ship that out. That's for the most part over.
And regardless, that's what I don't like. And this helps it be.
But Mike, then let's make it $100 for the game because that's the only way we're going to be able to substantiate making those games again.
Fine, I would do that before something like this.
Really? I mean, I'm pretty sure you just said about Anthem the other day that unless the reviews are great, you're not going to buy it unless it's like $30 or cheaper.
No, I didn't say anything about the price of Anthem.
Okay.
I said unless it's better than 7.5s, I would get it, but not.
So reviews matter more to you than the actual quality of the game.
Well, because the reviews are always going to tell him.
Well, you're basing it off of other people's views and rather than your own. And that's what I'm saying. It's like a free to play. You can actually play this like Apex. You didn't have to pay anything. It's just like a friend to play Apex, and it's like, all right, cool. Rather than like, hey, buy fucking the Division 2, pay $60 for that, and play it with me. It's like,
well, because when you buy something, you expect something. There's standards.
Expecting a value. You're expecting that.
All right. That's an interesting take. Okay.
I mean,
I don't disagree with that because when you have a free to play game, there's also like. There's things that you are guaranteed to get in a free-to-play game because how else are you going to make money? Like you're going to get things that are.
Yeah, you're getting paywalls.
It's just a model, though. Like that's what is.
I'm not disagreeing there. I think that if we're going to the question, is free-to-play good or bad for the industry in general? I don't think it's a bad thing for the industry in general, but I do lean towards the side Mike's on here where it can stymie some of the creativity of some of the studios because you're on the optimistic side, Jim. You're saying, oh yeah, we got all this extra money. Like, do you see Epic making any more games? No, they're just going to throw this money at a store.
No,
so they can make more money.
I see Epic. I think Epic does make more games. I disagree with you.
No, I'm not saying they're not going to make more games. I'm just saying they're not focusing on that right now because why would they?
But there's Valve.
Valve doesn't make any games.
Well, they're going to make some other ones again, but I mean, that's just like. They're just venturing into something else for now. It's not like they're not going to come back. I mean, they have their own engine. They source their own engine.
Sure.
They are more of they're not really a game studio anymore. They're more of a source studio for everything. Maybe they have Fortnite, but they were more.
Yeah, they don't need.
They were more engine. They were more engine rental anyways. They were selling their engine to everybody as it was, so right before Fortnite. That's how Fortnite became. Really, I mean, honestly, Fortnite was just going to be Fortnite, and then it had the battle royale idea from PUBG.
No, and then now they do not need to worry about anything else, and they can just keep making Fortnite. I'm just saying, as an example, I don't see Epic making a new innovative game because Fortnite's successful. I don't see that happening.
I disagree with that. I highly disagree with that. I think it's a matter of time.
How long? You think it's going to be like 5 years from now, or you think it's going to be like a year next month? I think, they're going to make another game eventually.
I don't think Epic is disillusioned to think that Fortnite is going to coast them by for the rest of their lives.
No, I agree with you there. I'm not saying that this is forever. I'm just saying it's delaying. Which is what Mike is saying too. Is it's going to delay people from making.
Here's what I don't understand. So, like, if Fortnite wasn't making Epic money, you think they would be producing more games with less money? That's where I don't understand this.
No, they'd be making different games. That's my point.
I look at it like this:
spending all of the last 5 years just supporting Fortnite with time and the money. but it's not that much in comparison. They could be making like a single new like game world experience. Like for me, like I like the games that like you're going to a game world and you can experience it yourself a little bit. And these all skew towards like multiplayer only. They won't be there once the servers are down. You don't really have anything. And it's not just for free to play, but like other things that where you do pay will adapt the same strategies some more.
I'm saying that every company out there, like big companies, looking for this kind of game for them to have that steady revenue, and they're still not. It's not like they're not planning on making games.
I agree. Everybody wants a steady revenue.
Bethesda is a perfect example. Bethesda is a perfect example of what I just stated.
Yeah, look what they did.
Okay.
Because of a trend like this.
They're trying to make, because they're trying to make a steady stream of money. They didn't cancel all of their projects.
No, but they didn't. Well, we don't know that yet, do we?
Oh, they're not going to cancel all their other projects. I mean, yes.
What are they going to cancel? You think they're going to cancel Elder Scrolls? You think they're going to cancel Starbound or whatever the hell it's called?
No, those are not getting canceled. But maybe the game
I don't understand
was not.
They might
getting made now.
They might. You think Bethesda is in a good place financially now, where they're like, all right, we're on track to make our big games now?
I think Fallout, no matter what,
sure.
Fallout actually made the money. I don't care what you say; it's going to make the money. It's terrible. It's horrible. People complain about it, but it's going to make money because of the system it's under. So they're going to get a whale. What do they call them? Whales? What do they call them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got those. That's going to pay for the game.
All right. Or then, if that's true, then they won't even bother developing.
That's what I'm saying. It's not going to stop them from doing this.
Why
Ubisoft
not?
is still going to do it.
You think there's not going to be a Fallout 5 because of Fallout 76? Because that's kind of like the argument that you're making right now.
Because of it, yeah. Not for any time.
No. I'm not saying soon. I'm saying you don't think they're ever going to make a Fallout 5.
Going to delay.
I think you guys are all talking like stuff is like happening right now. It's like
I think
right now things are being affected by free to play. Absolutely.
Well, because I think studios are looking for that game. They want that steady stream. I don't think it's
and that's the thing is like that is what like that's not necessarily the problem. But I'm saying people want a game like Fortnite, like PUBG, like Apex Legends. Now, obviously, they want a game that's going to be easily accessible and people can throw money at their screen whenever they want for random stuff. They can just keep like adding extra things, like, and everybody wants that. So everybody's making that. And that means everybody's
getting in the way
something
right now.
else.
Yeah.
I mean, it's happening right now. It's not
I don't see it as a permanent impact against the making of the games, though.
I mean, if that's what we're breaking it down to, I don't understand, because like then you could just say like we're chasing trends no matter what. I mean, back in the 360 PS3, like every game had multiplayer shoehorned in because it was just like we need multiplayer to drive up engagement and user retention. Where it's just like, why does this need multiplayer? Like, the FPS trend with Halo. I mean, we're still experiencing that. Like, the industry just leads itself
because of it. Absolutely. Like, I think
and nothing bad ever happened with any of those trends. You don't think? Nothing. There was no bad side effects with any of those trends.
Like what?
I don't know.
I just said you get worse products because you.
Corey, like I don't even understand. Like without Halo, I don't see how you got Borderlands.
Sure, like. Yeah, just give us the best multiplayer game of all time. Sure, throw that out there. I'm just saying, like, you can't just both ways. You can't just say, "Oh, one game is," like obviously, it's going to affect things here and there.
I just think the runaway success of something like this just further incentivizes studios, especially third-party development companies, to not really. There's no reason to create like single player games anymore.
I think,
but that's completely separate. Like we've been moving away from this before Battle. Like, what do you mean how? Like all the big publishers are releasing less games than ever. I mean, we've already talked. How many times have we been talking about how Tomb Raider has been flopping, well, despite the first game selling like 10 million copies and
fantastic, but they had way too high of sales expectations. It sold really well.
Right, single player games have been dying for years now. Like it's not new news. It's been before
they've been
Battle Royale. It's been before free to play.
The money's not there from single player experiences for these companies, and they're not moving away from that. But they also are trying to find out ways to incentivize people to play these single player games too. So if that means that Apex has to exist for us to get Mass Effect, we're not getting Mass Effect. But if that's the case. I fully support Apex.
Yeah, and that's very like rose-colored glasses. Look at
sure,
it,
sure. Yeah, I mean,
I guess here's what I'm asking: like, what's the worst case scenario of free to play? Like, that's what I'm not understanding this. Like, you're saying because of games like Fortnite,
all publishers make is just like games as a service game. All like third parties, maybe first parties will still do single player stuff a little bit, but like all they'll do is just these games as a service things that won't exist long term, and it'll be expected that something is free when it comes out as well. And I just don't like the way the business model works.
Yeah.
And that you have to.
You could not like the business model. I don't see how that's bad for the industry. That's bad for you. That's not bad for the industry.
Well, and I think long term, it's bad for the gamers. I mean, I said it's good for the company from the beginning. Yes, I think gamers like their own worlds that they can go.
I mean, I do, Mike. I can agree with you on this.
They don't want to always have to play a multiplayer game.
Sure, but
they don't want to always have to have this thing that's a bare bones thing, and then you play it over and over again. And if you get tempted enough, you can buy a hat for $5 or whatever.
I don't see what's wrong with that.
They all look the same too.
We're gonna get that in single player games anyways, Mike. That's what I'm saying. Like these free to play games are gonna exist and they're gonna bring in money for these companies, but we're still gonna get these single player games just with this stuff tacked onto it as well. It's not going to affect our games. It's just going to be there cosmetically. I mean, I guess you can say Assassin's Creed.
I mean, I agree. Like if we're just breaking it down in dollars, this is good for the industry. Absolutely,
it's good for the industry dollar wise. But I'm just saying.
Mainstream.
I don't think it's going to discourage.
I mean, if you like AAA games, I think this is bad for you.
I do think that you'll get less single player experiences because of this.
I mean, I just think but we've been talking about this for. I thought we've been talking about this for the past couple of years, where the single player experiences are being primarily driven by the first party companies because they're the only ones that can afford that, because they're essentially selling the exclusives. Where it's like, hey, you want to play God of War, you want to play Spider-Man, you want to play Zelda, you want to play Halo.
Yes,
like, you need to buy our system.
I know, and we saw a big sort of like they were first party, but they were a big resurgence sort of huge selling single player games.
Right, so you get that from the first parties.
Yes, that's true. But so then you don't.
I highly expect I highly expect Cyberpunk to have some sort of
multiplayer.
Not multiplayer, but cosmetic, something in the game for you to buy extra.
Yeah, absolutely. There's all these trends that's going to bleed into all these other games.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's what I'm saying, and that's fine with me as long as we still get these games. But it's also going to be a steady stream of income for them, and that's why you want this. Like because I don't want these studios to close down.
This is why I rather even have the older sort of alteration of this, where every single player game has a separate multiplayer mode. Like I wouldn't mind that as much, and it further justifies paying for the price tag there. And then having that on the side with little cosmetics.
So
but to me, this just cuts a lot of the work out, and you just go right to the stream.
So I think what we would still get this in games if they charged $80 a game. We're still going to get this stuff in the game. We're still going to get season passes. The only thing that I see this as for the industry is it's going to prevent studios from being shut down. Now EA is not an example of what I'm thinking, because I don't feel like they'll change. And I do agree with you to a point, Mike. I think that them getting their way with this could will change the way they make their games again. Like we're going to have Battlefront 2 fiascos again from their games. But I think that the studios like Ubisoft and Bethesda and Epic to a point, I think you're still going to get, unfortunately, Blizzard is going to find a way to do this as well, but in order to maintain that they have jobs,
free to play,
yeah. Well, I'm just saying,
League of Legends, one of the biggest games of the world, still in 2019.
You want that steady income, and look at Microsoft did that with Game Pass. They wanted that steady income, and that's how Sea of Thieves, which you can't tell me. I mean, it sold fine in the beginning, but you cannot tell me that would be successful at all without Game Pass, and it lets them hide these numbers. It's like Netflix. Netflix can hide the numbers of flops because they have so many subscribers coming in. It's the same idea. That's why I look at this for games.
It's all about averaging it out.
Yeah. So if you can bring in something like Apex that's going to make them, millions, but then have a game that just breaks even, the break even feels a lot easier than it does if if you don't have Apex there for your money. That's why I look at it.
But you wouldn't rather have them just make
I think that
traditional games and just make sure they're good.
You can't anymore, Mike. The industry's gotten too big for itself.
Industry, that what you want, Mike, is never going to be happening.
It can't happen again because
it's over.
You can add.
It is over.
We've seen microtransactions in paid games that are mostly single player already, and those are fine when they're done right. That's a different thing, though. But when you're able to just cut out the entire game part and just play a single mode for free,
I mean, I think you right to it. So oversimplifying the Apex Legends, that game has been developed for longer than you think. It was in development before Titanfall 2 came out.
Okay,
so
I was saying, it's not like, we can just throw a map and
they didn't just
ship this together over a weekend.
You had
it's fine, but I just
that Cliffy B game. That is a game that whatever he tried to make that battle royale game, that flopped because it came out in a pre-alpha state. You can't just have a game put together in a month and put it out into the world because that will fail.
Yeah.
So it's going to take time.
Yeah. What, Radical Heights? I mean, that's a perfect example. I mean, that's a free-to-play game that flopped because it was obvious that product was not competitive.
Yeah.
It didn't offer anything new. It didn't do anything better than Fortnite. It was just gimmicky bullshit, and it failed. And that studio closed down.
Yeah.
Yep. That didn't pay severances.
We could talk forever on this topic, but I think we've gone. So I think it's going to wrap up our Gamecast.
Oh, hold on. Before we forget, do you know, now that Apex has come out and we're on the cusp of Anthem, does anybody here disagree that Apex is going to do way better than Anthem financially?
No, absolutely.
And Apex is why Anthem is going to be canceled.
What?
Well,
I think it helps.
It doesn't help. It makes it completely obsolete to them. They're not going to keep it around.
Do you think they're going to continue to support Anthem for a year?
I don't think. First of all, I don't think Anthem's a good game. So that's tough. I can't. Anthem is a terrible game.
It's going to come out what do you know? Anthem's going to come out.
I've played. It's just boring. The game is boring. It doesn't have anything there. Again, it's like every time you release these kind of games, I've seen it twice with Destiny now. Twice. What's the fool me once? It's just going to be.
I have to say, Division's a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with Division.
But see, I'm using Ubisoft as a perfect example of a company that can learn and make the adjustments. EA is not a company that can make adjustments, and Bungie, Activision, unfortunately, is a company that cannot make adjustments because they don't learn.
They're too big. They can't make the agile jumps.
So I just feel like Anthem is going to do the same growing pains as Destiny and Destiny 2 did, and I don't think the industry wants that at all anymore, and that's going to kill it.
I don't think that's true about the industry not wanting it.
No, I don't think you want to go through the growing pains of what a Destiny did. Sure. That's what I'm saying. And so for that, yes, I don't know. But with Apex's income coming in, does that help? Maybe, but EA is also an ass company, so they're going to probably just shut them down.
I mean, the thing is, with Apex being so popular, and you have, if you're at least playing on PC, you have to do it via the Origin launcher. I mean, that's a good example. Let me be like, hey, if you're enjoying this, why don't you try out Anthem? Here's a free weekend to play it with your buddies instead of Apex of the weekend or something like that. Or do a promotion where it's like, hey, if you play the Anthem open weekend,
they offer a free weekend in Anthem.
Oh, so soon, within a month, I guarantee it, within a month.
Yep.
At least, but try out Anthem for the weekend, and you can get some exclusive part or skin or something in Apex. That's what they can do. It's cross promotion.
I played Heroes of the Storm for that reason.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Thank you. You play Heroes of the Storm to get the fucking Overwatch skins. It's okay. There you go. Even if you have a 10% conversion rate, that's great.
Yeah.
It's just, when you have those numbers, you can afford to make those.
Yeah. No, the thing though, I feel like with Apex coming out and being such a hit, and Anthem kind of stumbling out of the gate with their betas, I really think that EA is going to abandon ship pretty quick on Anthem.
Oh yeah, 100%. But I mean, I was calling that before.
Apex, I thought that they were going to go all in on Anthem.
But you see,
EA is the kind of company that does abandon ships constantly. They don't stick with it if it doesn't work. Whereas other companies they do stick with the game and they do make it work. I mean, Bungie is a company that stuck with it. Division, look at Ubisoft with that.
Well, I mean, they stuck with Battlefront.
Yeah, For Honor is a perfect example of that one too. Yes.
They actually have kind of stuck with Battlefront, which I'm
it doesn't mean it's going to make it a better game, but they stuck with it.
They stuck with it because it's Star Wars.
No, I mean, and it's clearly making them something.
And they promised certain things to people that prepaid for it.
Yeah. So, anyways,
I mean, the one last thing I want to say is like because of actually Apex Legends, Titanfall 2 has actually risen in the charts again. Like if you compare,
and plus it's on sale for $5.
Exactly,
that's fantastic.
You go to Steam, you go to Xbox Live, you go to PlayStation Plus, and all those Titanfall 2 is like doubled, if not tripled or more, on all those platforms. So it just shows that people can be persuaded from, oh look, this studio made this game. Let me check out this other one too. Like,
yeah, that's a good point too.
And I guarantee you, the next game that Epic makes, they're going to advertise by the people that made Fortnite. I guarantee it.
So, do you think Apex? Now, this is a good better question to finish with. Does Apex bring us Titanfall 3? Because we would have not gotten a Titanfall 3 before Apex.
No, I definitely think we see an eventual Titanfall 3. In fact, that might. I mean, supposedly it's in the same universe, right? Like,
yeah. So
I mean, Apex is one of the companies.
EA has sent that game twice to die. I don't think Titanfall 3 would have been released.
Well, this was their decision to actually make Apex.
Yes. Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, and like I said, maybe they'll go something crazy and release like the Titanfall 3 campaign or story mode through Apex Legends. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, Titanfall 1 was a multiplayer only experience. It wasn't until Titanfall 2 that we got the single player campaign.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think it was one of those things where it was like too little too late because like people were just so soured. But by Titanfall 1 being multiplayer only,
got launched in between
exclusive.
They launched Titanfall 2 in between Call of Duty and Battlefield.
Right. I'm saying, but like Titanfall was fighting an uphill battle the whole time.
Yeah. So, all right.
So we'll see.
All right. That's going to wrap up the Gamecast. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Write us podcast at allycangeek.net. Follow us on Twitter at allycangeek. Like us on Facebook. And hit that subscribe button if you're watching us on YouTube. Thanks again. Tune in next week. More topics coming your way.